name is Vanika Crockett. I am the wife of Willis Crockett, and we have 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy, and I have 3 grandkids. And I've been employed with Coffee County 911 here in Douglas for 28 years. Wow. 28 years, I have proudly served your family, whether you need us in an emergency or non-emergency. I love my job. I love what I do, and I tell people often, this is the only thing I think I'll ever do, and they don't pay me. So if they told me I ain't gonna pay you tomorrow, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna show up. Come on, I love what I do. So they told me if you love what you do, you never work. So I feel like I've been taken from the county for 28 years because I truly love what I do. I make sure my staff brings dedicated service to whatever your situation is. I always tell my staff that somebody loves that person on the phone. Whether it's your mother, their mother, somebody's cousin, but whoever you need to relate to give them what we pay for, because they don't ask you on your phones if you want to be charged that $1.50. So if I pay for something, especially without having a decision, I want it to be perfect. We're not perfect. Sometimes we do make mistakes. But dealing with people problems and their issues for 28 years, I proudly say, thank you for embracing me in the community as your 911 director. And I was appointed to Governor Brian Kemp's Public Safety Task Force last year in April. Well, how they got my name, I'll never know. I come from Nichols, 12 miles away, as country as they gonna get, right out of a single wide trailer. So I say that to say that if I can do this to the young people, you can do it too. That's it. You can do it too. Don't let nobody tell you what you cannot do. Because I stand before you from family issues to not having money, growing up like I didn't have a silver spoon. Back then, a lot of people really didn't know about the food stamp cards, but y'all have cards. You know, people have cards now, but back then, my mama had a book. So I stand before you to say that you can do anything that you choose to do. You just got to keep at it. So I want to speak to the adults. If you do not have your house numbers, it is very important that you put your house numbers on your house. The reason why this helps the ambulance, the fire truck, or anybody that's responding to your house, whether you have a crisis or you don't have a crisis but you need assistance, it helps to locate. And a lot of people don't know about the numbers, the house numbers. If you live in the county, the house numbers are done in tenths of miles. So my computer system will tell me whatever the main road you are. If you're 4 numbers, that means I know that you're 1 mile. So you can keep going with the numbers. That tells me you are 2 miles. If your house number was 2015, so that would tell me you're 2 miles and 15 tenths on the left-hand side. So that's a little bit about house numbers and why it's important. I always say 911 is like insurance. People never care about what it do, what the deductible, how much it costs until they need it. And once they need 911, then they want to know, how long did it take the fire truck? You know, where I'm at, how long before you come? So this is just a nugget to say, if you put your house numbers up, it will help us be able to find you more quickly. To my young people, I do want to speak just a few minutes about interview process. We have had 4 positions open now for the last, 1 year. And it's very hard to get people to fill those jobs because 911 is a very, very, very stressful job and a very thankless job. We don't get a lot of thank yous and a lot of standing ovations. People just want us whenever they have an emergency or a situation. So I want to talk to the young people about jobs. And some of you younger adults are entering the workforce now where you may need a job. And if you have to enter the workforce, and I say this with all due respect, but please make sure your attire is appropriate. The last interviews we've had last week, we interviewed for 2 days straight, and only 3 people showed up dressed professional. I had one young lady come in and she had a Johnny Cash shirt on, some flip-flops, some spandex tights, and a wad of something in her mouth. I'm gonna say tobacco or snuff or something. It was very difficult for me to answer, follow through with the questions that I'm supposed to proceed with, because I could not believe, like, wow, you really didn't take the time to, do I really want to hire you in the workplace? So for young people, make sure that your hair is groomed, that you got on a nice outfit, something that, is presentable. I also want to talk to young people about social media. We put so many things now on social media, whether it's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Those things are going to follow you back to the workplace. So young people, please be careful about things you post on the internet. Sometimes you may think it's all fun and games, and I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to throw my deuces or my whatever signs up. Well, in the workplace, that sign may mean something else. So you have to be very careful about the things that you're posting. Well, you may also post like, I've got a nice shape and I'm going to put my, my Daisy Dukes on and turn to the left and pose and show everything that God gave you. Well, in the workplace, we may say, that's really not the candidate we're looking for. But ma'am, I did that 12 years ago. Sometime in the workplace, you don't get a forgiveness like God would forgive us. So some things are still, you're held accountable for, even though you did it 10 years ago. I can also say to the young people, please listen to your parents. Please listen to your parents. Your parents love you more than anybody other than God that's going to be in your presence. Your teacher care about you, your pastors, all of that, but your parents, they're going to love you. They're going to make sure that they don't steer you wrong. Sometimes it seems like our parents are the meanest people in the world, but please do what your parents tell you to do. Be obedient. Do what they tell you at the church. Be kind. Be slow to anger. You don't have to get so mad about everything. Young people get so mad they want to post everything on social media. I'm so mad. Okay, in the workplace, we say they're aggressive. They're angry. They cannot produce in the job force. So for the young people, please make sure that you don't capture all those things to already shape who you are without getting a fair chance to let me really meet that person. So that kind of makes sense. Make sure that you keep your social media clean, decent. So if your pastor or your teacher or your parents are looking at it, you don't have to put your phone under the table when your mama come in. Make sure that your social media is good. And the last thing I want to speak to is criminal histories, criminal backgrounds. We've all had a past, and I'm going to put this out here because you may be recording. This is a disclaimer. I am not an attorney. I'm not giving any legal advice on criminal history, but I am just going to share some nuggets and some tips with you. Sometimes as young people, we do things, and we think, I'm going to get a pass. But if you've ever been, or I hope nobody in this room ever faces it, but sometimes things happen, and people make mistakes. Society tends to tell you get a pass. Like this happened 10 years ago, then it's going to fall off my criminal background. I've seen people come in and they want to adopt kids or they want to apply for a job or something, and then we run their criminal background. And they say, oh, I did this in 1997. And it just breaks my heart to say, it's not going to come off. It's going to stay with you forever. Okay. So be careful, young people, with the choices you make. Be careful with the crowd you follow. Sometimes people will lead you to situations and then you stuck with something on your background that you can't get off. So it is very important to make good decisions, to stay focused. Choose your friends wisely. I want to see each and every one of you do very, very well. But just know that a criminal history, and it's probably over some of you guys' head, the younger people, but things that you do, if you are ever fingerprinted, it's called a live scan. And it goes on your record immediately. Before you get out the sheriff's office, once they run your fingerprint, it goes live scan. And live scan can be seen in California, Texas, Georgia, wherever. It's on your record immediately once they put it on that live scan. So it only takes just a little while to do something to, oh my God, how did I get here with a live scan? But it almost takes a lifetime to try to get it off. See? So make your choices wisely. And
it's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm the son of Shirley Hodge and James, and these are my motivation right here from since I was a kid. So I want to start by basically saying it's okay, speaking directly to the youth, like it's okay to fail, it's okay to take breaks. I want to get straight into it. And it's okay to, feel like you may not have done something that you wanted to do. So for me, I'll start with this. When I was in high school, I actually took all these AP and honors classes, but I did not graduate with honors. And so that was something that always kind of bothered me. But, I was able to, pretty much just remember that going forward, everything I had done in the past was no longer as important. So every step going forward is basically setting you up for success going ahead. And so for me, I had always had like this distrust with police officers. I'm sorry, y'all. Nah, but seriously, I had always had this like mistrust with uniformed officers. And so, I had went to school, went to Savannah State, started at ABAC, of course, but then went to Savannah State, majored in biology. I kind of took a break. That was another one of those points where I felt like I had kind of failed. And so took a break, came home for a second. I was like, I'm not going to be stuck in Douglas right now. And I was like, I have to leave. But for me, it was more so like knowing that there was a much bigger world out there. Start small, do bigger things. And so I left Douglas, went to Savannah State. Took some time after like a year at Savannah State. Met my wife, of course. But then once I took that break, I actually got a call to work at the airport, just on like a 6-month contract. We had planned on, moving to Atlanta, but then I called and I was like, hey, we got to move back to Savannah. Like, I just got an offer. And so I actually took that offer, and the director at the time was pretty much this older white guy who like really took a liking to me. And so like he saw something in me that I always knew was in me, but I felt like other people around me didn't necessarily see. Because I did have kind of like a attitude growing up. I was a little bad. I was a little rough sometimes, but like those things really came from some of the things that I experienced early on, and like there were things that I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents about, even though they was always there to listen. Like I just always kept to myself. And so when I got to the airport, one of the things, my role was in security. First, it was a 6-month security role, but like it was kind of rough at first because I didn't necessarily, again, it was a mistrust there. So like I'm working directly with police officers and this and that, and so the police officers that were there, like they were determined to make me talk because I did not want to talk. And I just thought this like a Sunday or two at church, how like I watched my mom kind of go, like kind of go from being more quiet to like now she's doing all these things like singing in church and all this stuff. So that for me gave me kind of like motivation and kind of just gave me some courage. Well, over time at the airport, I realized that just because you see a uniform, like the person behind that uniform actually like it's a human being. Mm-hmm. And so I started to kind of like realize like, there are things that people do to make a living. And so a lot of them do it to make a living and because they care about people. And we kind of see, a lot of times we see like, oh, Lord, the police, we get nervous. I mean, and we have every right about that. But at the same time, I kind of, like for me, that kind of sparked something in my mind to say, okay, like how can I impact like the way that we see police officers and, the relationship between police officers in our community. And so I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. Basically, I was blessed enough because of that director that was in place that saw that in me. He actually wanted me to put this program together. It's called Inside Threat Mitigation. And so with that program, like there was so many different parts to it, but I was able to pretty much write a curriculum for police officers new police officers coming into the airport industry, and pretty much just on how to effectively communicate with our cultures and how to genuinely care about us. Most of them do care genuinely, but the ones who didn't know how to communicate or connect with us because they aren't from our background, and a lot of them, like, when they first come out the academy, they're gung-ho, they're ready to go. But at the same time, they're human too. And so once I created this program or whatever, I started to teach these officers, like, from the den. So basically within the airport, a lot of them, they'll come in and work for a few years, they'll go other places. But having impact on those officers pretty much kind of helped me, myself, to kind of start trusting more. And so I say that to say, basically, no matter what your background is, no matter, what people say you're gonna be, no matter what you feel like you're gonna be, like, there's always bigger that you can do. And it start with personal work and start with personal development. So going into my career, basically with that program that I wrote, I now have over 15 certifications, and mind you, I never finished my degree in school. A degree is very important, and I am actually in the process of going back to school. I got accepted to Valdosta State University. So I will be starting back up in August to finish my degree, but the reason I'm telling y'all that is because going back to the beginning, it's okay to fail, it's okay to take breaks, it's okay, as long as you just keep going. Remember that you got a goal or a prize at the end of it. And aside from that, let me step back for a second because I want to make sure that's the airport calling me, not the screen. But I just wanted to make sure I hit these points. So again, me actually writing that program for the officers helped me to actually better myself too. And in the process, I was selected to go to Dale Carnegie Leadership School, which it's pretty much based off of human relations. How to build genuine relationships and connect with people, how to be a better listener, just overall be a better person. And so I graduated Dale Carnegie 2-3 weeks ago. And so graduated from Dale Carnegie, which this is a prestigious leadership school. And so in that class, throughout the weeks, it's a 12 to 14 week course. While you're in there with a group of people you don't know. Y'all are spilling y'all heart out, y'all are sharing why you are how you are, how you handle issues and all these different things. But at the end of the course, we all pretty much on graduation day, we had this big return on investment project that we had to do. And so after that project, we had the ceremony, kind of similar to the day or whatever. And so you do your project, after your project, they allow you people to stand up and talk about you and all this stuff. So everybody who stood up and spoke about myself was saying all these things that I had personally been intentionally working on. So it made me feel real good. But at the end of it, hold on, let me think. So sorry, at the end of it, we had to vote at the end of the class for the person that you may see in the future and want to tell your family, that's the person I want you to know. That's the person I want you to meet. And so after we voted, I'm thinking dang, I lost it. Because I kind of stumbled in my speech a little bit. I had kind of got nervous and forgot everything I wrote. So that's why I wrote something for the day, but then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and speak from the heart. But pretty much, I stumbled up. So this is one guy that's in class that I just always, he looked like act like a CEO, looked like a CEO. And I'm like, man, there's no way I'm gonna beat this guy out. And so after I was the first person, they called me the first person to be up there in front of everybody. And so I think that kind of had a piece of it. But after we voted, the professor was walking over talking to, basically telling everybody, this is a person that, blase, and he walked over in front of the guy, and I'm like, I lost. So I'm very goal-oriented and very achievement-driven. So when he got ready to say the name, he said, the person that you guys voted is, and he immediately looked over at me and said, Terrell Gaskin. And I'm like, oh, so I can get up. I'm gonna hold this up. So this was me just completing the class. This is my certificate of achievement. But then also I got this plaque, which they're still mailing me my name tag. And,
Come on now.
I received this, and for me, like, I think I was very emotional. I don't know, I didn't cry, but like I got really emotional. I almost cried. But the truth is, like, for me, because I'm putting so much work in, I attribute that to Mahogany, because she actually do push me a lot. But yeah, like, the name of this award is the highest achievement award. And so the reason why I say it's okay to fail, take breaks, but keep going is because no matter what, like, all the stuff that happened in the past and going forward, like, there's a whole lot more you can do that's bigger than what other people put on you. So I say that, you know, to say just keep going. And if y'all ever need any type of resources or any mentors, we're open to doing that, myself and Mahogany. And so just reach out. Like, before I leave, I'll leave my card up here. This is something I need to also add. I'm sorry, y'all. So another thing is, I realize now, like, there are actual programs that are here in Douglas that weren't here when I was here. One being the aviation program. And so I just found out about this a couple months ago. And so now I'm actually writing a proposal to the airport at Savannah to pretty much try to create a pipeline from Douglas to Savannah to the aviation industry. I hold a lot of titles at Savannah Airport that, like, have a lot of importance. I deal with correspondence to TSA, like I deal directly with the FBI, any law enforcement agency, Secret Service, like we do VIP details, all of that stuff. And so I've been awarded a good bit, and I always say decorate yourself. So what I mean by that is get every certification you can possibly get. Anything that you have done, put it on your resume. Like, because at the end of the day, like, when people look at that paper, they're gonna be impressed. And with that, when you go and sit down in these interviews, at that point it's just selling your personality. And so for me, I always tell people, like, you basically are, like, your personality is bought before the product, basically. So just remember to, you know, stay at it, keep going, and look to other people around y'all for mentorship. Thank y'all, congratulations.
And as I was thinking last night, I was thinking about the service, and I always have the young people at heart. And I just dropped down a few nuggets, and they hit on every one. Amen. Amen. The first one I want to share is, who do you want to be? Not defining who somebody else wants you to be, but who do you want to be? Because only you can become the person that you want to be.
Amen.
I've seen a lot of young people go to college and quit. That's not what they want. That's what their parents want. So they put no effort in. Pursue your dream. Find out your dream and then pursue it. Only you can be your dream killer. Pursue your dream. Overcome challenges and obstacles. Everybody gonna have obstacles and challenges, but that makes you. And as Mr. Gaskell was saying, he had obstacles. He had challenges, but he was motivated. See, that's the key. You got to be motivated. Don't settle for a C when you got the ability to make an A. Motivate yourself. All right. And this little quote came to me. Say, the price of victory is high, but so is the reward. Amen. The price of victory is high. So what that means? It's going to take something for you to get where you want to be. It's not looking at what nobody in my family did. Who are you? It takes 3 people in your life to cause you to be a success. 3 people. 3 groups of people. First, it takes yourself. See, we expect others to give to us what we won't do for ourselves. See, young people, you have a point in your life where you got to decide what you want to be. It's more than looking pretty. It's more than have a boo-hoo of boyfriends or girlfriends. It's more than that. So, number one is yourself. Number two is your parents. And I heard Miss Crockett say, it's your parents. Parents is stars in your home. You should be their mentor. You should be their motivator. You should be their encourager. I heard Mr. Gaskins say it. He looked at his mom, say she was he handled it real professional. He said she was sort of quiet, but what he meant to say was she was shy. But she overcame that shyness. And not only did she become a speaker, she became a preacher. The third person that you need to have is God. Be your provider. I thought about your education, your training will get you to a door. But what is going to take you through the door? See, there's 10 people got the same qualification as you. Look like you. Have the same school. What made that interviewer, as Miss Crockett said, choose you? When there's 10 other people got the same qualifications. So this is my conclusion of it. Your education and your training gets you to the door. But Jesus takes you through the door. Because it's something about you that's different from the other 9. And that interviewer say, as Mr. Gaskin said, it's something about them. Amen. I'm going to give them a chance. See, young people, I find out we waste our chance. Because success is going to knock at your door. But you hang with the wrong people. You got a criminal record. Certain jobs you can't do. You messed up your chances. And then in my conclusion, who are you? Who do you want to be? During my course of year, and in choosing the speakers in my conclusion, and we're getting ready for the prayer of covering, during my years coming up, I realized that you can be what you want to be. Your dreams can come true. But so many times, we miss it. We give up on ourselves. We count ourselves out. We're defeated. We cause ourselves to be defeated before we even start. But you got to start. Young people, this is your beginning. Don't take it for granted. It starts with you. And in my conclusion, Mr. Gaskin said that you have many failures. He failed at some things in his eyes. But what was the key that he said in his fall? He got up. He learned. He moved forward. So a lot of you is not where you want to be. You and adults, you're not where you want to be, but you won't get up. That's it. What you say? You can't achieve what you want to achieve, but you won't get up. You know, I always say at Vickers Temple, we beg for what we want. What you say? What you say? Beg for what you want, but won't go after what you need. So your life, I hate for people to say, I never would, could have, if John hadn't did this, or Sue hadn't did that, or Sally hadn't did that, I could be this. And I began to tell them, you're responsible for not becoming who you want to be. You are responsible. a lot of times we kill our own dreams. We kill our dreams. By what? We rather enjoy now instead of having victory later.
Amen.
And then that causes us to miss your season. Come on once again and give the speakers a hand.